Is it visible? Okay. So today I'm going to continue on the text formatting by using LaTeX, and the main focus on today's presentation is going to be on the listing, tabbing, and also how we can declare new commands, or we can rename the existing commands to have a sort of different output with the existing commands. And then I will finally be concluding with the certain page styles, that how we can configure the specific type of outputs in our documents here. So here is the brief outline, where we'll be starting with list structure, defining new commands, redefining existing commands, and new environments, and finally stopping with the page styles. So as far as the list structures are concerned, they are one of the most widely used structures, specifically in case of the presentations, and or whenever we require to make certain items or components of a document prominent, or we need to present those components in a concise manner, then the listing is one of the things which should be used here, right? So in LaTeX actually provides three type of the list environments, which have been listed here. One is the bulleted one, which is specifically useful for the unnumbered list. And how to call this environment is through itemize environment, right? So itemize environment will provide us an unnumbered list, or in the list in the bulleted form, right? The second option, which is the enumerate environment, this will mainly deal with the numbered list, which follows specific ordering here. The third one, third environment is also possible, that is called as the description environment, and this is particularly useful when we need user-defined labels here, right? So coming to the syntax for the list structures, right? So the top one here I'm discussing the syntax for the bulleted and the ordered list, virtually, which means that we are talking about the itemize and the enumerate environment, right? So the for calling itemize environment, we have to replace this list type with itemize, of course, here as well, the begin itemize and end itemize here. And the items which we want to put inside it, they are listed or written inside this environment, then inside the itemized environment here. Similarly, for the enumerate, we have to replace this list type with enumerate, both in the begin and and also at the end, and the items, they go inside this body, right? The syntax for the descriptive list is also similar to what we saw in case of the itemize and the enumerate, but the only difference lies in the way the text is written here. Here you have to specify the level here, right? As the descriptive is mainly useful for user defined creating user defined lists here. So that's why there is a specific requirement of providing the level to the items as well, right? More or less, the conclusion here is that the environment setting, or setting up the environment, is same for both of them, right? Only while specifying the items, there is a difference between them. In case of itemize and enumerate, we do not provide any label, right? By default, labels are already defined inside LaTeX, but in case of descriptive, we need to do that, right? At the bottom, there is a sort of mistake here. It should not be itemize oblique enumerate. Instead, it should be description. The description is the word which should be used here. Okay, so in the next slide, I'm going to have one of the most basic example of the implementation of the itemized environment. As discussed in the previous slide, just a second actually. Okay, so sorry, it was okay. So here is the example for the itemize command. ये automatically press हो जा रहा है ये, just a second please. Okay, so हाँ ऐसा ही हो रहा है शायद. हाँ ये वाला. Okay, so ये देखो ना.
Hello, the class has started already.
लिख भी नहीं रहा हूँ तब भी कुछ ना कुछ लिखा जा रहा है इस पे.
Hello, this is the new class. Hello. Hello, good afternoon, sir. This is the new class.
Yes, it's
Okay.
new class.
So
Yes.
the syntax for itemize environment is here starts from here, begin itemize and end itemize, and we are trying to write 3 items inside it. So item, then this electron, proton, and neutron, and once you run it, you are going to have this nice list here, right? And since it is itemized here, so unnumbered list, so that's why we see only the bullets here. Okay, so there are certain points, important points, which need to be noticed down here, that whenever you want to make any entry inside the itemized environment, that you do with the help of the item command. Okay, and what this item command will do, that all the different items, they are printed in the different lines. Okay, so that's why, since we had 3 items here listed here, so we had 3 entries as we see here. And also all of these items, they are separated by a predefined vertical gap, right? Gap between the 2 lines here. Of course, all these parameters, they can be controlled and they can be modified. For example, if we want to control the vertical gap, then there is a command existing called as item/item separation command, right? And how does it work is an example given here, that just whenever you are declaring your itemized environment, this is by begin itemize, then just next to it, you write this command like this, /item separation, and you can give a value here that by what distance you want the entries get separated vertically, right? So that predefined vertical gap can be controlled and can be modified by using this command, item separation here. We have included an example of that in the next slide here. So on the left hand side, again, the input is shown to you. We declared that begin itemized environment, which is ending up here, and we have 3 things entered as in the previous example here. Only change is in this command here, where we are trying to change the length between, or change the vertical separation between them, and we want to keep that up to 10 millimeter of distance. And what we saw the previous list here, though the vertical distance has increased here. And sometimes if you want to decrease it, then also still this command is very useful. Suppose if I supply 0 here, then what will happen, these entries will be fairly close to each other, like a simple text thing here. The separation equal to the simple lines that will be inserted here in between. So you can use it in both ways, both to increase as well, both for decreasing as well. Now, the next example is the nested in an unnumbered list. What is the meaning of the nested environment is that we can embed or we can declare an itemized environment within an itemized environment. For example, let's say here starts our first begin itemize. This itemized environment has started, and I think so far we understand that when will this itemized environment become closed until it reaches the end itemize command. Itemize command. Okay, so once if we move in the vertical direction, we started an itemized environment, but we have not closed it, and another itemized environment has been started here. Similarly, we go down further, another itemized environment here. So this way of declaring the environments is called as the nested environments, right? An environment within another environment here. And we have gone down further here. So we have declared four itemized environment in succession. We call them as the unnested nested environments here. Okay, so then the first itemized environment will be ending here. So how this will be ending, that this will be going to this point here. So this is one itemized environment. The second one will be closing here. So this is a single unit. The third will be closing somewhere here. And the fourth one at the end here. So there are, this is called as the nested environment list here. And the output is shown on the right hand side, right? So this and this entry, they belong to the first environment. And similarly, these dashed entries coming from the second environment, and these starred entry, they belong to the same group. And these four entries, they belong to the innermost nested itemized environment here. So specifically, we have to pay attention to these bullets here. The four types are defined. This the bullet, and then the dash, asterisk sign, and the small dot here. So all the important points which we saw there, that have been listed here. And there is a condition that at maximum only four nested environments can be created, like the example we saw just above here. And the marking for all of those itemized environment has been defined in by LaTeX, right? And but the default entries are bullet, hyphen, asterisk, and dot, which we just saw in the example here, right? So these all are predefined symbols for nested unnumbered listing program here, right? But these default settings, they can be altered, or they can be redefined with the help of the commands which are listed here. So if we look at them carefully, we have this level item as common in all four of them, and at the end we have this 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the Roman numerals here. So this Roman numeral actually is defining the depth of the nested environment, right? So sort of the first environment will be controlled by this level item I, right? And the second environment within the first environment will be controlled by this level item second, and the third and the fourth level, they are controlled by third and fourth. So virtually this 1, 2, 3, and 4 in Roman numeral, they are representing the depth of the nested environments. And if you want to make any change in the style of them, of the default settings, you have to tweak these four things here. For example, I'm going to coming back here. That suppose if instead of this bullet sign, if I want to introduce a different sign, for example, if I want to introduce a sort of triangle here, like this, then what I need to do, I need to modify this level item I thing here, because that is the top in the hierarchy here. And suppose if I want to alter this small dot, which is lowest in the hierarchy, then what I need to do is I need to tweak with this last parameter here. right? And how that can be done is demonstrated in the next slide. So for in this slide, what we are going to discuss is we are going to discuss how we can change those marking styles, right? And for that, two special packages are needed: enum item, which basically, and also AMS font, which is so the different new fonts which we want to incorporate, they exist in this package. So that's why both of these packages, they need to be included in the preamble of our document, right? And the here I have listed the commands which are to be modified, and please pay attention to this keyword here: renew command here. So what this is telling us, that the command which is listed here, the first argument inside these curly braces is the name of the command. This and this, they are the names of the command which we saw in the previous slide as well, right? So what it is saying is that the command in these braces, this is already existing, and what we are trying to do is we are trying to redefine it, right? This is the general syntax we use for redefining all kind of commands which are existing inside the LaTeX. And here is the body of that, or what action we are requesting it to do is included in the next pair of curly braces here. Okay, so what the first command will do, that it is asking that the default option of level item I should be replaced with a star. Okay. We just saw in the previous slides that the first default option at level 1 is that bullet. Okay, so what this command will do, it will replace that bullet with this star sign. Similarly, now coming to level 2 here, in the same way, what it is asking, it is asking to replace the default option, which is hyphen, by a check sign, right? And up to third level, it is asking change that asterisk sign with a diamond symbol. And finally, that small dot at level 4 should be replaced with an asterisk sign here. So with the help of these simple 4 commands, what we can do, we can replace the default options in an begin itemized environment. So all these, they need to be included in the preamble to have their impact across the whole document. So again, the same table have been reproduced, but with but after implementing the changes which we discussed above here. So we saw that the top level hierarchy now is being represented with the stars, this and this, and then the second level is the check mark, which we adjusted just now, and then the diamond sign here, and the asterisk sign at the 4th level here. Okay,
So that
so
renew
there is
command
another
should be
shorter
added
way as
in
well
preamble itself.
for doing the stuff which we just did, right? But the only difference is that the changes which we did above, they are spread across the whole document, right? The same effect can also be produced by this little example here, but those changes will be limited to that particular environment here. And if you want to have it across the whole document, you have to do it everywhere, right? So that sometimes, it depends upon your need. If you want to change only at a particular location, then opt for this option. But if you want to have the changes across the whole document, then you can go for that renew command option here. So what here is does, what here is it is doing, this is the starting of a itemize environment. Then we have another itemize, then the first one is ending here and the last one is ending here. So it is a nested environment again, but having only 2 levels. Okay, so this is the item just after the first level. So this will be representing our first level here, and here asterisk sign is representing that whatsoever item we write here, you have to insert asterisk sign in front of it, and that's what is being represented here. right? Then we have our second level of itemize, and there are two entries inside it, but and we are asking or forcing LaTeX to print a diamond sign in front of them, and this is virtually what we are seeing here. The same effect as we have for with the renew command. But I think we understand the difference between above and this now. Okay, so this was all about the itemize, and then we can move towards the ordered listing. Again, the things are pretty much same as we saw for the itemize environment. We start with begin enumerate and we end with end enumerate here. And the entries are inside here, and the output is shown on the right hand side here. And the difference between itemized and bulleted is pretty clear here, that in case of enumerate environment, now we have the numbers 1, 2, and 3 like this. Right? Having these numbers also have an additional advantage, that if we need to refer any of the bullet points somewhere in the text, then that can be done in an enumerator very easily. And what is the reason? Because it has a numbering associated with it, right? This is not possible in case of an itemized environment, because that is an unnumbered list, and you do not have any reference to it, any number which you can refer to that. Okay, so choice is yours, that whenever there is a reference needed, always enumerate environment is preferred. But sometimes if you do not have any specific ordering of the items, or the referencing is not required for them, you can go for the itemized environment here. Like very much in itemized environment, the separation between the items in the enumerate environment can also be changed, right? An example I have taken here is that item separation 6 mm we want to create, and the rest of the syntax is same as the example above, right? Additional thing is this item separation, and output, from the output it is pretty clear and visible as well, that we have now the larger separation between the different items of this environment. Okay, so like the itemized environment, the nested lists, nested ordered list can also be created. Again,
Sir,
the
Sunil
way
sir,
or the procedure is same.
Sunil sir. So, how can we label and reference these numbers? Are you explaining later on?
Yes, actually, in the next couple of slides, I do have something for that.
Hello. Sir, excuse me, we can't hear anything. Hello.
Samim, I think there is
I
some
think,
issue of power, so it will be resolved soon.
yeah, I think issue is from the organizer side.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
there is a power failure here. So, but it is,
okay.
I think it's over now. So you will
Sir,
see the
unfortunately,
presentation soon.
I guess I have not received the proper schedule of this course, and that's why I have always been late. Uh, could someone forward me the exact schedule of this course, please?
Didn't you receive the mail, sir?
I guess I have not. Unfortunately, would you please be kind to forward it to me, please?
Shamim, I just sent the schedule to your WhatsApp.
Thank you very much, sir.
Again, sorry, there was a short power glitch at our end. So the nested ordered list are also possible, like very much in the we saw in itemized environment, and the different levels can be created in enumerate environment as well. We start with this begin environment. We'll be calling that as the top or the first level enumerate environment, and then the next will be the level 2, level 3, and level 4, right? And these are at maximum we can go only up to 4 level deep, right? Though with the help of addition of certain special packages, it is also possible to go a little more deeper. But I think in most of the applications they do not require you to go more deeper than this here. And uh, the executing this command is going to give you this sort of output here. So at the level 1, then the default number is these Arabic numerals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the top level, followed by at the second level you are going to see the symbols like A, then B, and then of course if there is one more item you are going to see the thing like the C and D like this at level 2 here. At the third level in the hierarchy, you have these small Roman numerals, right? 1 and 2 and 3. Like here, if you see 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the third level of the hierarchy. And at the end, you have these alphanumerical capital letters for them. So this is default for an enumerate environment, right? And we have just listed the some of the important points about the enumerate environment. At maximum we can go up to 4 level with the default settings, right? And how the marking styles are given, that at the first level it is 1, 2, 3 like this. Then at the level 2 you have ABC in this specific format. Then we have the Roman numerals, small Roman numerals, and finally the alphabetical characters there. And of course, this default marking can be altered very much in the same way as we do for itemize. But the name of the commands here is slightly different, right? So in there it was level item. Here you characterize it with this enum, just as a sort of shorthand for enumerator here. And again, you have these Roman numerals 1, 2, 3, and 4, again defining the levels of the nested enumerate environment here, right? So again, in the same way, if you want to modify the top level of the environment, you have to again play with level numi and for the second level and so on like this, right? As I was saying earlier as well, that since this is a numbered list, so LaTeX is going to assign a particular number to them, and that makes it possible to refer any of the items listed within an enumerate environment, right? And the how that referring is done, again you can use that vref package, or the way of asking for referring is again the same which we discussed yesterday, and also in the morning thing you discussed, that how to level an equation. The same syntax is followed for all kind of referring in LaTeX virtually. Okay, and what kind of output is produced is here, that if you are referring the top level enumerator, which means is here, this one means the begin enumerator at the first level, then the reference, in the reference you are going to see the text like 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. But if your referring is going to the is referring is going up to this point, means to deep up to second order, right? So then how it is defined? It is defined with the help of the first the number given for the first level plus the number which is given at the second level. So for referring these fermions here, what sort of output will be generated? That will be generated in this form 1a, 1b, etc., etc. And if you want to refer something little bit more deeper, for example, if you want to come here, then you have to add the bullets for or the numbers assigned to all these three levels of hierarchy. For example, it will become 1, then a, then I, right? And if you want to go one more level deeper, then all these four different level numbers, they are combined to each other, and which means that here the item is lying in a nested environment. And how many enumerate environments are inside that? There are three in numbers. This is what is showing here. And of course, for the fourth level, you have this thing here. So this is the first, top, second, third, and fourth kind of thing. So it's a combination of the numbers which are associated with that. And here is an example of doing this. Here is an example of labeling and referring the different items inside the enumerate environment. Again, in this example, what we have done, we have started with an enumerate environment, and within inside there is another enumerate environment and another enumerate environment here. So basically, we three nested enumerate environments have been used here, which is also visible from here as well. The top level, then the second level, and the third level items here. Okay, so three nested environments are here, have been arranged here, and to each item, you are not going to refer the whole environment as such, right? We have to refer the individual items inside the environment. For example, this item matter is, the level is assigned here, and it will be referring to this item. Okay. Similarly, we have assigned another level to this and assigned another level to it. Okay. The specific attention is to be paid that this particular item is lying second order of hierarchy, and this item is lying in the third item of hierarchy here. So how the reference will be generated, as I told you, that since it is the top level, so the whatsoever number is in front of it, it will be assigned as a reference to it. So it will be appear like 1 here. Okay. And if we want to refer it, then we have to see how deep it is inside the enumerate environment. So it is the first level, it is second level deep, right? So how it is going, we are going to refer it just by the combination of top level and the current level. And I will say it will be appearing something like this. And what about this? Again, this is its depth is of the third level here, first, second, third. So all these three numbers, they will be combined into a single unit to refer this. So these quarks, they will be referred as 1, A, and then I. And if you go back to left hand side again, this part here, what it is saying, the particle, then we are referring item quarks. And where is item quark? Item quarks is here, means this item. So what is our expectation here? That as a result of this, you are going to have this sort of referring, and which is what we see here on the right hand side, bottom part. Right? Similarly, belong to, and then we have another reference here. Now it is referring to fermions, and where is this item lying? It is the second level of the nested environment, which is here. And what output we are going to see, that is 1A. And this is what we see here. Okay. And again, the last one is the item matter, since it is the top level of the hierarchy. So only the number associated to it will be printed, and that's what we see here, right? So this reference actually gives an indication about the location of that item inside the nested environment. Okay, so then we come to that how we can change the default numbering style in case of the enumerate environment. Okay, again, we have the same way what we followed for the itemize, means we have to call renew commands, which have been listed here. Okay, and of course a special package is also needed, that is use package enumerate to have all these effects coming into play. Okay, so but here what we see that here we have a combination of two things. One is this level enumi. We already discussed about this, that this is the leveling, a command controlling the leveling of these things here. But you have certain new things as well here, which is represented by the num I or num I 2, num 3, and num 4. Right? I will be talking about this later. The last part will be discussed later. So the specific attention is to be paid here and here, right? This is the same as we saw in itemize as well. This thing is absent in itemize, right? And what's the reason? That this particular port, the bottom fours, they control the numbering, right? The top four, they are controlling the leveling information, level, and the bottom four, except the last one, they are controlling the numbering. And why the bottom thing is not existing in itemize? Because there is no numbering existing inside it. So that's why you are not going to see such type of commands in itemize, right? And I will come to this part, but first let me discuss these leveling part here. Okay, so what we saw by default, that your itemize is giving us the things like this. The first, it will be starting with this alpha characters, and then we have a, and then we have the Roman characters here. Okay, so that default will be changed by this, right? For example, we are asking it to in the level I is again representing the top level in the hierarchy, and we are asking, okay, change it to an Arabic numbers, right? And similarly, we are asking level 2, okay, I need these slash alpha, which means the capital alpha numerical ABC, etc., etc., right? And the third level, we are using this option slash alpha, and this stands for that the smaller letters A, B, and C, like this. And the fourth level, what we are asking is, we are asking that I need at the fourth level, I need the Roman numbers, right? Why again, if we go back, by default is different, right? The Roman numbers, they are at the third level of the hierarchy, and what we are asking or what we are requesting is that we need them at the fourth level here, right? You can use any of the different options. You can put Arabic here at the end or the Roman at the beginning. Any of the choices, they are available here, but everything needs to be done with the help of this command here.
Hello, sir.
Okay, so this will be changing the numbering.
Hello, sir.
Okay, just a second.
Yeah, please. What do you want to ask?
Sorry,
In the first
just a second, sir.
line,
Allow me a minute. Yes, please speak up now.
yeah, in the first line, that is new command, before the last curly bracket, there is a dot. While in the Screen is lost.
and I'm not able to hear him as well. Just a second. Now will you please speak up?
Yeah, in the first command line, there is a dot before last curly bracket, and in the remaining one there is a round closing round bracket. So, is there any mistake? Last curly bracket.
Please repeat your question. What last curly bracket here?
Yeah,
Acha,
in the
all right.
first,
In the first line. In the first line, you mean to say?
yeah, last curly bracket before it there is a dot, and
Okay.
in the
Okay.
remaining one there is a closing round bracket.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
So, is it a
What's
mistake
the
or?
question, sir? Sorry.
कह रहा है कि इसमें डॉट लगा हुआ है, इसमें करली ये ब्रैकेट बनाए हुए हैं आपने, इसमें क्या है?
Okay, okay. ये तो by mistake लग गया वहाँ पे. Sorry. Okay, so I think your question is about this dot here. See, this is by mistake here, right? So you don't need the dot here. Okay.
Yes.
And
Okay. Thank you.
in the second, you see these brackets here. So these brackets actually they will be appearing as it is in the label. So it will be in small brackets, and then will be capital A, capital B, and a C like that. And similarly, if you come down here, then again these small brackets they are printed inside the Roman number. So Roman number will be printed like this, right? So these square brackets are for producing that kind of impact. And please ignore this dot; it's by mistake here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think this is what is for the labeling part. That labeling can be controlled in any way, or in the way you want to get an output. You can configure it. Okay. Similarly, now the bottom parts, they are for controlling the numbering scheme for them. Or it says these are the sort of counters, I can say, for the nested environments. Right. So if you want to modify those counting things, then we can control that as well. I will come to that part a little later in the presentations. But yes, the main point here is that the numbering and the labeling both can be altered in case of an enumerating environment. And of course, one more advantage of these numbering is also listed in the second point, that in case you want to change the referring style, then these numbers are these options related to the numbers need to be modified. I will be coming to that part a little later. Now, another example after the modification, whatsoever modification we have done in the environment with the help of the renew command, now that will be reflected here. So again, it's a nested environment. Again, here we are going to up to 3 level, the same example which we considered here. The same example is revisited, but after we change the leveling leveling or the numberings by using these commands here. And what we see is at the top level, you have the numbers which are Arabic numbers. From here, they are this effect is coming, and now we have these A, which virtually is these alpha characters, and then the small elf followed by that small f here, right? This Q, again, the question is I think is because by mistake we had uh, redefined this level numi again, right? So here we were asking for the Arabic characters to this thing, but here that again got modified, and we got this q dot in the beginning. Okay, so what it will do, it will add this q dot at the first level here. So sometimes this sort of feature will be used for giving special effects, or the special if you want to print the enumerator item in a specific manner, then this command is quite useful here. So this have been intentionally, I think, intentionally have been kept here just in order to demonstrate this thing. Okay, so again, as I said in the beginning, that we can change the numbering style within the enumerate environment. For example, you can use the fixed text in the numbering of the listed items. For example, if you want to start the things with for exercises, question and note, etc., etc., then what you can do, you can take help from the renew command again, and you can modify this level of the enumerator, and you can produce the effects like this q dot. So what this particular command will do, that in front of each listing, each enumerator environment, it is going to insert this text, right? For example, say that in the list I want to print something like this: question number 1, or question number 2, question number 3, or maybe exercise number 1, exercise number 2, or note number 1, 2, 3, like this. Then what I will do, I will be calling this command, and in place of this q dot, I will be writing exercise or question or note. Then in what manner my list will be printed? If I have written exercise here, then in the list I will see exercise 1, 2, 3, and so on, right? And of course, this renew command is to be specified in the preamble of your document. Here is an example here. After we have inserted this command in our preamble, right? So all enumerator items will have this q dot in front of it. So what is this input saying? That there is some text written followed by this command slash l dots. So as has been discussed, that it will be giving you output like this, and then answer q dot, and then there is a reference must, and reference must, it is referring to a certain item inside it, right? We will see that item is here. So virtually by writing this, we are referring to this item, okay, and any two from the rest, and then we start our enumerate, and this reference will go to up to this point, and then we have another nested enumerate environment and written certain questions in between, and we just close our second level, and then we close our top level enumerate environment here. So what is the expected output here? So as we said, that it will be referring to must here, and that is
Yes,
the
sir.
number 1 here.
Sir, previously you said backslash CMD label, but here it is now saying backslash label must. So label should be, how the label should be placed? Backslash label or backslash CMD
No,
label?
no, no, no. Actually, it should be slash level here. Unfortunately, I had a CMD command defined for specifically for writing codes, which which gives me output like this, the slash level and something, and somehow in that example that command has gone wrong.
Okay,
So
okay.
we
So it
have to
should be,
ignore this CMDs.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So actually, this CMD command is defining is used to write codes inside write codes so that the people can read them. So it has gone wrong at one place. That's why. Otherwise, the correct way is this thing, the level like this, or which is being demonstrated in current example. Okay, so what is the output you are going to get is answer question number one, because the level must have been referred here. Okay, so here it is helping us to give a statement like this, that answer question number one and any two from the rest, right? And in case if you want to make any other question compulsory, what we need to do is we can shift this level to that particular item. For example, if I shift that level here, then it will be saying that question number third, answer question number three and any two from the rest. So that sort of things can be adjusted pretty easily with the help of the referee. So again, one more example have been given here, but before I come back to that example, I would like to discuss a few things. That the special package use this enumerate package helps us in redefining the enumerate environment in a specific manner, right? And this can help us in including the styles as the optional arguments. So it is a sort of modification of the begin enumerate environment, which which exists in the core part of the LaTeX, right? So some additional features are assigned to the begin enumerate command by calling this package enumerate, right? And some example have been given here, that you start your environment with the begin enumerate, but you specify an optional argument here. For example, we have taken the example one here, or for example, Lima one here, like this. So what it can do is, for example, here we have our enumerate environment defined, but with an optional argument example one. And then we have listed certain items in this enumerate environment, which is ending here, right? So this is not an example of nested environment. These are just this is the single enumerate environment. As after starting begin, we got the end, and there is no other enumerate here. And then there is another independent begin enumerate, which is ending somewhere here. Okay, so what impact this optional command will have on the display of the enumerated items is shown in the next example. That you will see that whatsoever text you have provided here, that will be the first part will appear as a level, and the second part here will be available as the numbering scheme, right? Enumerate has two important components, the level and the numbering scheme. So for the first part, the level is example and the numbering scheme is 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas in the second example, the level is problem and the numbering scheme is A. And the output we see for the first enumerator, you have example 1, 2, 3, increasing the counting, keeping the level same for all the items inside that environment. Whereas for the second thing, you have again level as problem for all three of them, and the numbering A, B, C, D, and so on will be counted. So again, the same logic will be applied, that if you want to have certain impact for throughout the document, you use renew command. But in case you want to have this impact localized or only in the certain part, then you can use this enumerate package to have this sort of feature by controlling the leveling and the numbering with the help of an optional command given along with the enumerate environment. Now we move towards the last component of the user defined levels, that is the description environment. So again, the syntax is pretty much the same, for as we had for the enumerate and itemize, except we have this description at the beginning and end, and of course we have the user defined labelings like this A, B, C, and D. Of course, I have got another spelling wrong. There is an L additional here, so it's Delhi only. And you see that whatsoever text we have written in these square brackets, that is being used to label them, right? So again, it is very much like itemize means that it is also an unnumbered type of list, and hence you can it will not be having any counter for it, and hence you do not have any option to refer the descriptive description environments as well, right? It can only be used just for styling the different entries with the whatsoever type of numbers you would like to use. But yes, the thing we can do with this is the change in the font style, and again that can be done with the help of the rename command. And the name of the level which controls is, or the name of the command controlling the level is this slash description level, and it needs one argument, which is, and then then the body of it, that it converts all the whatsoever argument you provide it into in italic letters, or whatsoever items they are printed, they will be printed in means they will be printed with the italic impact, right? So it's more like the itemize, no numbers associated to it, and only the appearance you can change with the help of description level. So I think this is the last example of the listing environments where we have mixed all three type of the all three type of the listing environments, right? So we started with the enumerate, and of course in somewhere in the middle we have this itemized environment, and also have the description environment. The only point I wanted to make is that it is possible, very much possible, to nest the different environments into a single piece of code as well, or in a single list as well, to have the different sort of impact. So with this, actually, I will be moving towards the tagging environment, which is and what is the main use of it. That in you can use it for aligning text in the different columns, right? We will see an example of this in the next slide, that what we mean by this. But how this works, those different parts of a tagging environment have been discussed in this particular slide here. Now there you are going to see the command like this, backslash and then equal to, right? And this particularly will be dealing with the first row of the tagging environment. And of course there will be will be another command here. It will be help us in moving to the different columns of the same row, right? And then we are already familiar with this symbol here, double backslash, and it will be helping in terminating a row, right? And the column virtually mean that whenever we have motion in this direction, call that as columns, and the rows, the bottom movement, virtually the rows and columns, the normal concept we use for this. I will make all these things clear when I go to the example. But yes, in that example, we are going to see the different commands which have been listed here. So this is an example of tabbing or printing text within a tabbing environment. So the environment actually starts with with this begin tabbing and end tabbing, the normal control we use for the environments. And then this is what is called as our first row. So in first row, there are two entries. One side there is a name, and another side you have certain number here. Now what this first command will do, this slash equal to, right? This will divide the first line into two columns, right? So it will be helping us in preparing a table kind of structure, right? Where the command written here will be dividing this whole line text available into two columns, two equal columns, like this, right? So one side will be symmetrically cherry written, and on other this thing here. And then this command will be called, and what it will do, it will send it to the new row, to the second line, actually I will say. And then the commands this and this, it will also be doing the same thing as this slash equal to is doing, but in the subsequent columns. Okay. And what we see in the end, that we find out this table here. So, and if sometimes if the, let's say that the spacing of the columns is virtually controlled by this first line here, but sometimes it might happen that the text in the first line is pretty small, and if the text in the bottom is large, then there is a possibility of overlapping between the two columns. And if you want to stop that overlapping between the different columns, the h space and h space star commands can be used to increase the spacing, which I think we can see in the next example. Okay, the example is okay. Sorry, I think I forgot to include that example here. Yes, so I have missed that example. I had one example demonstrating at space as well. What we can do is that you can, just before we start splitting the row in terms of the column, we can add the syntax here, like h space and then some number. If we specify some number, then what it will do, that it will be increasing the length of the first column, right? That will be whatsoever space is occupied by this letter plus what number you specify here. So the impact of that will be that these two columns, they will be separated by a little more distance, right? For example, cherry will come here, and then the number 12 will be coming here. So that sort of impact can be achieved with h command, with h space or h space star commands. And one more thing can be done is that any of the columns which are created by the tabbing environment, they can further be split into the sub columns with the help of this command slash equal to. And the example of that is here. For example, if we again go to this tabbing environment, we have started and we are ending here. And if we look at the first line, what it will be doing is that this command will divide whole of this line into two columns. On the left hand side you have breadth be written, and on the right hand side is 3. And then in the subsequent column, since there are two entries, you can control them with this and with this. So everything it will be a 2-column text here, and everything going pretty fine here. But if you go to the next row, now you see 3 entries here. One is the volume, then there is a sort of formula, and then there is the answer to it. Okay, Now the output will be needing three columns, right? One for volume, another for the formula, and another for the value here. So then just after writing the entry in the second column, so this is the first column up to this point, right? Column division is done by this command for this, the first column and second column. Now just writing the text, writing this formula here, we have again called this command slash equal to. So what it will do, it will divide this second column into two equal columns. So that way we will have one column, then the second column, and the third column. And in the bottom text also, now since this has started a new row kind of thing, and in the following or in the subsequent columns, you can call this particular command to have the same sort of bifurcation. So this way means the tabbing environment can help in subdividing a particular column as well. So the alignment of the text in the tabbing environment can also be changed with the help of these two commands. These are the quotation commands virtually. One is the left quote, another is the right quote. Okay, and here since the size of the each column is decided by the first row, as was mentioned here, that the size of the columns will be described by the first row here and also the first row here. So but and so in order to take benefit of this, what we do sometimes, that we create a sort of a pseudo row at the top with the large text in it, right? So the text is large, so it means the size of the column will also be large, like this. And we try to divide this row into three. We have divided this row into three columns, right? The first column here, and from after calling this command, your second column has started, and again we are calling the same command, the third column has started. And afterwards we have called this kill command. So what this kill command will do, that it will allow the first row to create spaces for the three columns, and then will remove this row. That's why this row will not be further appearing in the output, right? So virtually this kill command will help in controlling the spacing for each column in the tabbing environment. Okay, and then the text in the second column will be divided into three columns. The first column will show A, then this is the column separator, then you have text B, column separator, then you have the text C. So that's why this is appearing A, B, and C like this, and by default, all the text is left aligned. That's why A, B, C, and you are seeing here. And as we go to the third row, then the first entry is A, by default left aligned. Then this is a column separator. For the second row, you see B here, and then you have called this left quote. And what this left quote will do, it will be right aligning the text written to it. That's why this C has moved to the end of the column 3. Okay, and if we come to the next row, we have not written anything here. That's why we get an empty space, and then in the second column we have written A, and then the right quote have been called, and this merges, and this brings A and B very close to each other, and then C is printed and normally, which is the left aligned here. And in the next we are not touching anything, hence we have everything in as the as left aligned text. Okay, so the next part I will be moving is now defining the new commands. As the syntax is being shown here, that we will define them with the help of this new command, right? We already saw renew command, right? Renew command was used to redefine the already existing commands. But in case you want to define a fresh command, you have to use this thing. And what is the syntax? That you have to write this keyword new command, then inside the curly braces first, we will be giving the name of that command, whatsoever we want to define. And then the definition means what this command will do, that is will be put here, right? So such type of definition is called as the new command with no optional arguments, right? But there is another way of also defining these commands. Again, the keyword is same, the name is also there, and name should be unique. It should not be already existing, or it should not be used anywhere else. Okay, and then we have the a certain list of the arguments to be provided, and the definition part will again be the same, that what is required by this command to be done, that all three all that things should be kept here. Okay, so the essential parts for the new command are the name and the definition. Now we will take a certain example. For example, let's say I am trying to define a new command. So I have used the keyword new command here, and I want to give it the name slash backslash bs name I want to give it. So this is the name part here, and here I am asking asking what is the definition, or what I am asking my command to do. Right now, just for a minute, let's forget about all the different components here, and let's concentrate only on this part. Right, so if I write,
Sunil sir,
yes sir,
I think in the dollar it should be backslash, then backslash. Or is it written correctly?
sorry sir,
Backslash, then you write backslash. You draw backslash, then you write backslash.
yes, but it's a math mode. I think text backslash can produce backslash itself.
There is no backslash in your dollar.
You know, I understand, means there is a like, if you see this one you are talking about, right? Slash
No,
text backslash kind of.
no, even when you have written text backslash, before that there is a backslash.
Ah, okay. Yes, I got your point. Okay. I'm missing a sort of backslash here like this. Yes, like this here, but you're talking about it. Yes, okay. Yes. So yes. So there should be a backslash here which I'm missing. So just for a minute, forget everything about this new command or this name, etc. What I am asking you to do is that if we write in a normal text like this dollar then slash backslash, then what should be the output? It should be doing nothing except producing a backslash in the text here. Okay, so the normal output of the text which is written inside the curly braces is to produce a backslash. Okay, so this new command with the name bs, what it will do, it will be just inserting a backslash, and that's it. That's what it will be doing. Okay, so then as I told you that this is what will be the output of this thing here. Slash bs will be producing a sort of backslash signal like this, right? And what is useful, it can be it can, but usefulness it can provide you is that whenever you have to write backslash in the text, you have to repeat this text time and again. And you might have seen in many of our presentation that we had to use backslash so many times here. So by just using this simple remain command, we will not be writing this whole text time and again. Instead, we will be simply writing slash bs only for that purpose. And this was one of the simplest examples here. Another example we have generated is, again, the new command, the usual syntax, which will be coming with all the commands you want to define. and then here is the name, and the name assigned to is the double quotes here, and it takes one optional argument here, one argument, sorry, it takes in one argument here. And what it will do, whatsoever text we supply here, that text will be shifted to this point with this ampersand sign and 1, right? So whenever you have to call any argument inside the definition, you have to use this symbol and write the number for that argument. Since it has only one argument, so ampersand 1 will be supplying whatsoever value you give here to here. And what will be the impact? This LQ will produce a left quote like this, LQ will produce another here, and whatsoever text you have supplied, that will be entered here, and then there will be a right quote and something. Okay. So what will be this new command doing? That whatsoever text is supplied to it, that is inserted within the double quotes. For example, the usage we have taken slash double quotes, and we have written the text here, and here is the output for that. The hello world will be printed within the double quotes. So it means what it does is that the renaming, the new commands replace this syntax with the help of a simple command, right? Generally, these new commands, they are quite helpful when you need to do some complex tasks time and again. Here, just for the understanding sake, we are including the simple examples. So another example of producing that backslash is, but this is taking with one optional argument, that is 1 here, and what it will do, it will be producing a backslash, and the whatsoever text you supply, that text will be supplied as an argument to it. And for example, if I call slash bs text, the output will be slash text, right? And this is equivalent to this thing here. Another example of renew command have been included here. I have named that as special effect. It takes one argument, and from here its definition starts. Okay, so what it will do, it will first, please ignore this, right? This is by mistake here. So what it will do, it will insert the color effect, plus it will convert that text into Roman format, and also it will be printing it in the italics form, in the italics font. Okay, so that sort of once I will be calling special effect, and then the text written here, and you will be seeing this the bold phase. I think okay, the different effects that can be implemented with the help of this new commands. So redefining existing commands, we had certain examples before as well. The syntax starts with renew command, and of course the name of the command to be redefined, we already discussed this. Then the number of arguments go here, and the new definition will go here, right? We did this for level itemize, the level 1 of the itemize, and what we are asking is that at the top level of the item, I need the triangle, this triangle here in the small font. Okay, so all that definition is defined within this thing here. Okay, so this way, I think we have already discussed this example. I need to move a little faster here. So again, new in okay. So now we are moving towards the new environments. So the syntax for the new environment is again very much similar to what we can say for renew and those commands as well. So the syntax I have listed here, slash, the keyword here is new environment. Then you have to assign the name to it. in case it needs certain optional arguments, those arguments are given here, and then the starting condition and the ending condition inside the curly braces. So the different components as the name, start and end conditions for all the environments has to be specified. An example have been taken here. This is a keyword for new environment. Whenever you try to define any new environment, this keyword will always be coming there. And this is the name given to the environment. The name exercise I am giving to my new environment. And the code written between this bracket and this bracket will be defining the beginning conditions for that, right? And what this will do, that it will be, this text bold face will print this name in the bold letters, and then there will be a begin condition, and there is an argument given it shape. It means it italic text. This new environment will print exercises in the bold format, which somewhere it is doing here, and whatsoever you specify within the body, that is displayed in the italic format. So everything, all the actions this environment is supposed to do is to be specified in the begin part of the code, which starts with these braces and which ends with these braces here. And after that, you have to define the end environment for that, like this. So this is end italic shape, and this is beginning brace of end part. This is the ending brace of that. Okay. So what this new environment with the exercise name will do, print exercise, and also whatsoever we put inside the body, that is to be in the italic letter. So how to use the new environment? Very much in the same way we use the existing environments. We have to start with begin exercise and end exercise, and this contains the body. So it will be printing exercise and the listed in the italics font. Another example of the definition of the new environments, again, the keyword new environment will be appearing in all the new definitions, and here is the name given to the new environment, and this is the begin part of it, and this is the end part of the code. Okay, so what this does, the begin part, it will start with begin center, of course setting up the centering environment, and then it is setting another element called as the begin tabular environment with the text width equal to this thing here. So one important thing we can understand here is that whenever you are defining any new environment, it can make use of any of the already existing environments. Okay, so what begin center will do here, that whatsoever action you ask your new environment to do, there is a effect of the begin center, like centralizing the text or any other task, that will automatically be incorporated inside the new environment. Okay. So for example, we will see that we will use this for center aligning the text if we want to put inside it, right? Here, as the name is suggesting, that we want to write text in a box. Okay, and so it will be helping us to create a box like this, and all the text whatsoever we write, that will be centrally aligned. And what part will be doing that? This begin center will be helping in that. Okay, and now this box type of environment will be created with the help of this begin tabular command and hline. Okay, within this begin tabular environment, you have this here and this here. What these two symbols will be doing, it will be inserting the vertical bars, this part and this part. And then you have the H line, and what this H line will do, it will be putting this part here. So with this, our opening body is closed here. Center environment already generated, plus these three things automatically generated by this begin part. Okay, and in the ending, in the end code, when this environment will be ending, it will be inserting this slash h line, means it will be inserting this bottom line and will end the tabular environment, means it will be closing this environment and also will close the central environment. Yes. So whatsoever text we supply, that will be written inside it, and it will be centrally aligned. So different parts, they will be doing it in collaborative manner. So how to use this environment is, you start with begin, write text in the box, the name given, the new environment, and something here, and this is the text in between. And what output do we see? That we have the text which is sent aligned here, and here the text is not appearing centrally aligned. Actually, this is an impact of the beamer. Beamer needs a sort of slightly different way of doing this. But if you do it in the document or article environment, this will be perfectly aligned like that. Yes, sir.
I think that it is in the center, but it is left aligned with respect to the box because you said P.8 backslash text width. P means paragraph, which will always be left aligned by default.
Okay.
So the box itself is in the center, but inside the box, text is left aligned.
Okay. Yes, so I think probably yes, because begin center will be aligning the box, and since it is a sort of paragraph, so it's the left aligned. So thanks for correcting me, sir. Okay, so certain, I think in the morning we saw these particular part as well, that you can read, you can define these new theorem environments and or the new theorem environments like this. For example, just very quickly, I will be walking through it. You have keyword new theorem, then this is and what these commands will be doing is that all the numbers to the theorems or the definition or the corollary, they will be redefined, right? For example, all the theorem numbers, they will be affiliated to the chapter numbers. Or for example, here the definition there will also be affiliated to a chapter number, or the corollaries, they will be affiliated to a section or the lemmas, and like this. They so all these commands, they can control that part. For example, here uh, and all those commands which are listed here, they should go in the preamble of the document. And how you can invoke them is like this: that begin definition, then you have provided an option to it, and you have given the and the label to it, the definition of center of mass. And it is ending here, and there is some text here. So how it will be appearing is that, since the definition, as we saw in the above part, the definitions, they are affiliated to the chapter number, right? And since all these definitions, they are appearing in chapter number 13, that's why you see this definition name and this numbering 13.1 here, and the next theorem will be automatically numbered 13.2, and so on, right, as they are defined in chapter number 3. Suppose if they are defined in chapter number 12, then your numbering of these definitions, etc., they will be automatically modified to 12.1 or 12.2, like this. So maybe let me shift to a little to towards my text studio part, um, so is it visible my text studio part or not? Oh, okay, then I have to first disconnect from here. Uh, so is it visible now, right? Okay, so again, I would like to continue with that example a little here. So it's a small piece of code here, just the basic document class as we define our usual manner that has been given, and then this new theorem have been defined, and with this name definition, right? And this is the text which will be uh, that will be appearing while that particular environment is called. And what this last part will do, that the numbering of these definitions or the numbering of that DFN environment is affiliated to a section. Okay, so in this part of the document here, we have a section introduction here, and then we are calling this begin definition environment, which is ending here, and the argument which we are assigning is the center of mass here, and the text is written here, right? And similarly, again we are calling in the section number 2, we are again calling this begin define and end define here, and also in the subsequent section it has been doing. And once we compile, what we see is that then all the definitions have been assigned the numbering corresponding to the section in which they are appearing. Okay, so this part actually, the section number will be will a section number assigned by the LaTeX will be used to define the definition number, to assign the definition number to the places where the definition is actually occurring. Now I am coming back to my presentation. Is it visible now? Let me try again. So your entire screen. Okay. So with this, I think we are done with the defining the new environment or the theorems like this. And then I'm moving to the last part of the presentation, that is dealing with the page styles. So your document class by default setups of the overall appearance of the document, but the styles of the whole document or the individual pages can be modified with the help of the page style command, right? And that styling includes the changing of the header and the footers like this. So before I think I move towards certain examples, so let me just say a few words about the default setting about the page styles. That this the page style command can be called with this keyword page style and providing an argument style in between. And there are the different options available: the plain, empty, headings, and my headings. Okay, so the plain is the default class, and what it does is that head is empty, tail shows the page numbers, and empty neither shows head nor it shows the tails here. But headings, if we use the option heading in the style command, then you are going to see the different options, like the foot is empty, but in head you see the page numbers and the name of the chapters and the sections or the subsections like this. And my headings is also like headings, but here you can define that what appearance you want to have in your final text document. So let me demonstrate that with the help of an example. So for example, what is here, it is a sort of book I'm just trying to show, and it comprises of different chapters and subsections and the sections, etc. Okay, and if I want to have a closer look on this, then on the first page by default. So see, this is the whatsoever we are going to see is a sort of default option. We have not changed anything in this document. So on the first page, you see you don't see anything on the head here, but on the footer part you have the page number. But if you go to the next page, you see the chapter number as the header and the page number on the left hand side here. And similarly, on the third page, now you see on the introduction, this is the subsection number on a section number on the right on the left hand side, and the page number here. And similarly on here again, the chapter number and the page numbers are something. So book environment actually defines the different settings for the even and the odd pages, right? For all the odd pages, you see the section numbers on the left hand side and the page number on the right hand side, and whereas the even numbers show the page numbers on left and the chapter number like this. And all this is done in order to have the easy reading for providing easy reading for the to the reader here. But all these things, they can be changed with the help of the page style command. For example, here is a sort of some blank document I have created just in order to demonstrate the impact of the different page style settings. So first, let me compile it, and let me demonstrate the different components of it. So I have not kept many packages here, except this fancy header package, right? This is a special package to change the appearance of the header and the footer styles here. And then I have created an almost an empty document, as I have written nothing except the chapters or the section names, etc., etc. And then I have tried to play with the different options of it. Okay. So once if I compile it, see, I have not done anything in the preamble. So it will be a sort of default options. They will be appearing in the book here. So there is the chapter just here. And then we see on the even number page, you have the page number and you have the chapter number. And also again on the odd page, you have the default setting here, right? So up to this section 4, you have all the default setting that is appearing here. Up to this, there's all the default setting here. But if you pay the closer look to this section 1.5, you don't see anything here in the header, and also you don't see anything in the footer. Okay, so what command has done is which command has done this? This is this page style empty. Okay, so what we are, this command is asking that it is removing all the headers and footers, but this is also a localized command. This will be doing only this action for a particular page, right? If I move this command from here to here, which is in the preamble, and just will be writing page style empty, then what we will see is that we don't see anything here, any headers or footers here, right? They all have been removed altogether, right? So different options can be tried here. They can be mentioned here. For example, there was headings option, right? So it has a sort of different sort of um, appearances, right? So they all, like it mentions the default things that are back here. So all those things, they can be manipulated here. Or if I write the plain, then plain is the default option uh, that will be brought. So different options, they can be tried here. What I'm particularly interested in, something that is here, this particular piece of code, that is the part of the fancy header. If I insert it here, so what it is asking is that, see, there is a difference between this page style and page style. So this page style will be changing the style of only a single page, but the page style command will be changing for whole of the document. So page style fancy, we are asking that we need a fancy header, and that fancy header is defined by these different things. The right head, we want to print NITJ, on the left hand we want to print the LaTeX workshop, and the footer we want to have page and the page numbers here. And if I include these 4 commands in my preamble, I'm going to see this sort of output here, that the header has been changed, have been manipulated to have this sort of output here. On all the pages, this have been included. But if we want to have it only on a single page, then we will move this command from here, and will be in the page where we want to have it. We will be just inserting it as this page style, and it will be doing that action only on that particular page, right? Now, similarly, we have the option for the page numberings as well, right? Uh, for example, let me compile this document as well. So here, no option have been yet used or given. So it means that whatsoever it will be, but the default option will be are there. They will be now will be appearing. For example, the page numbering is these 1, 2, 3 Arabic numbers 1, 2, 3 like this. But if I want to change these page numberings, then I will have to uncomment this command page numbering, and here I can insert the option I want. For example, I'm interested in small Roman numbers for the page numbering things. Then I will be adding this thing and compiling. I have messed up something, I think. Yes. I have removed that definition environment, I think. That's what is missing. The definition environment which was created, that has been moved from here. That has been deleted by mistake. Let me get rid of this section here. Okay. Okay, so what we see here is that the numbers are the default, the Arabic numerals. But if I uncomment this command here, page numbering Roman, then, and if I recompile, then what I will see that the numbering scheme have been changed. Right, in the whole document, this numbering scheme have been changed here. Okay. And if you want to have the capital Roman numerals, you will have this option, and then the numbering will be changed into the normal here. You can also have the alphabetical numbers as well with the help of this alf command, and what it will do is giving the page numbers like this. Okay, and we know that specifically in thesis or the books, we have the different type of the numbering schemes are used for representing the different parts of the document, right? Specifically listing that table of contents or the listing of the figures, etc., etc. We prefer the small letters, whereas representing writing the sections or subsection, there we prefer the Arabic numbers, right? So all those things can be done within the same document, means, right? But for that we have to change at the paging, the numbering style at the specific places. For example, I have now removed this page numbering command from here, and if I recompile, my default numbering is back. Okay, but if I somewhere after so it what now my document will do, it will start with the default numbering, which is which is 1 2 3 4, like this Arabic numbers here. And but somewhere in between, after this last section, it has encountered a page numbering command alf here, right? So now what it will do, that it will stop now the Arabic numbers there, and the next page is following it. They all will be showing the alpha numeric ABC as the sort of the numbering schemes, right? For example, if I compile here, then up to this last section, just after the last section, you have another section. Before that, we have inserted this page numbering thing. So what you will see, the numbering has started with A, and then B, and then C. So this counter actually resets the counting to the alphanumeric like this. So within the same document, you can have the different numbering. You see, just after another section, you started a different numbering. So what command has caused it? We followed 3 or 4 sections, and then we have inserted another numbering scheme here. So now there is an ABC as the numbering scheme, right? That also lasts up to certain point here. So you can really, within the same document, you can opt different numbering scheme for the different page numbers. What you have to do is you have to simply call this page numbering command whenever required. This all, I think, we have discussed there. These all the fancy header things, etc., have been discussed, and also this page numbering text, etc., can be used to change the style of the something. And there are certain, the output options also available for inside the document environment, which virtually you can do in this part of this thing. For example, if I just comment this and uncomment this part here, I have different options here, open, right, and then I make it 2 column and the 12 points, and if I compile, I am going to see this 2 column text, etc. So there are the different options actually are available, which can be played with. Probably I will not be spending much time on that, but yes, you can play with them. So the lengths actually, one more important part. So I think I will be stopping here. This might be covered a little later actually. Maybe in the last lecture I will be covering on little on the lengths here. So probably any questions?
Sir, may I? Hello? Hello?
Yes, you are audible.
Sir,
Yeah, please
just
wait for a minute. Please wait for a minute.
yeah, let's say that I have prepared a document in Word. I've already the date. So in that case, sir, is it possible to bring the, is there any other way to bring the document and then format it without starting from the beginning?
Will you please repeat the question? Sorry, I was not able to hear it.
Let's say that I have prepared a document in Word, and I want to format the page and rest of the editing that I wanted to take. So can I bring that page to LaTeX and do the editings? Is that possible, or do I have to do it all over again?
Yeah, actually, the thing is that you can bring it there, but LaTeX will be complaining about certain type of text. Like, for example, if you want to the equation, the way are inserted in your document, LaTeX will not be understanding that. So specifically, means the text can be can be brought as it is, right? But the special component like tables and the equations or figures, they have to be read in a specific way
No,
in
that I understand about the figure and tables and images, whatever we have. But I was talking about the document only the word like what we have.
Yes, that can be very much broad.
All right, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please, you're audible.
Yeah. Do we have a definition environment in the LaTeX? I mean, or we need to define it?
No, definition environment is existing inside it. But
Yeah.
sometimes if you want to include some special features in it, then you might redefine it actually as per your requirement. So
Okay.
this facility is available with all the existing environments. If you want to add some special features in addition to what are already existing, then you can make use of
New environment.
new environment.
Okay. Okay.
Is it from or
Good evening, sir. Sir, my question is that to renew any command, how will you come to know what is the previous command in that environment or in that package where we are using it?
actually for that you really need to have a sort of look into that package actually what sort of facilities this package is providing and because if you want to rename something you really should have certain idea that how that command is actually working until if you do not know that then you will not be able to redefine your command. So it's required actually then you need to really look into the package. Because suppose if I really want to let's say I take the example of sorry level item I. Okay, so I understand what it does, that it will be placing a bullet in front of the item which is here. So I know what sort of things it can take. It will be taking some sort of symbols like that bullet, any sort of bullet in front of it. So then if there is a sort of symbol existing, I can replace it with another symbol. But if you want to have it a different task from it, then it's not possible. I hope I am clear on this. So any renaming of a command or any redefine of the definition of a command actually needs understanding what that command is actually doing.
Yes, sir, I got it. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, yes, please go on.
Hello,
Yes, please.
sir. Very good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for such an excellent, presentation. The almost the I mean all the things of this topic is quite clear to me, but I have just one question. Right now, the fact is that sir, is there any kind of shortcut for to know about the details of the package here in LaTeX? Uh, am
Yeah,
I
yes,
okay?
yes, we understand what you are asking. Yeah,
Okay.
that package is there in Text Studio that I covered. in my first lecture. Actually, when you go to help, you can find all the help that you want regarding any package also, regarding Text Studio also,
No,
and
no, sir,
regarding.
that was actually what we tell you. Yes, that is actually some sort of, I mean, Windows-based system. But I am asking about some command-based system. Is there any kind of way that I can write down help, the name of the package, and then details about the package is coming? I mean, up that sort of help, or any kind of other, I mean, shortcut?
Yeah,
Actually,
that is.
uh, actually, every package maintains its a sort of information about it, sort of PDF document, small PDF document about the package, about the details of the package, what it can do.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you try to there is a C10 directory, so there is the list of all the packages available, and also there is a sort of small documentation about what this package can do.
And that documentation is there on your system also. If you go to command line, you press tech doc and then the name of the
Sir, would you please
whatever
be kind to
package.
show us here, please?
Yeah, I can show that to you. Sir, can you stop sharing? Just hang on. Yeah, okay. Let me just show you my screen. So is my screen now visible to you? Is it coming?
Yes, sir, it's coming.
Okay, so let us say that I am working on Windows. I'll say that I'll go to the command line and I will say tech doc, let us say cleverer. Okay. So when I will do that, what it will do is it will open up that for me. Okay, so now if I click here, I can see the documentation related to that particular package. Okay, and this is available on all systems.
So I need to go through the command prompt.
It is not
asking
necessary.
about that.
It is not necessary to go to the command prompt. You can achieve the same result through Text Studio also. That is what I was telling you. That inside the Text Studio, what you can do is you can go to help, you can go to packages help, and then you can type whatever package you want to know about. For example, AMS lab. And when I click open, then it will again open up that package.
Okay, sir. Again, please. Again, kindly, please.
Yeah, you can go to. Yeah, you can go to help. Then you can go to packages help. Okay, you click there, and then you type whatever package help you require. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you will click open, it will open up the package help.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now I think we will meet after after 20 minutes at around 4:25 p.m. and all of you will join in your respective groups for the tutorial session. And we are going to share with you the tutorial sheet, and there will also be one PDF in which there will be some hint to solve that tutorial sheet. Thank you.
Arun sir,
Yes.
I am having one query regarding the morning's lecture.
Yes. Yes.
So actually, I am writing one paper. I am a mathematician, and I am writing paper in mathematics, and I am having the problem with the font size of the equations.
Okay.
Especially when I write the partial differential equations. What I found is the font size of my PD is very small. It is not visible. So what can be the? Actually, I think the font size is by default.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dr. Abhinav.
Yeah, actually what you can do is you try to give this command \display style at the starting. Display style. Yeah. Okay, you try that and you see that hopefully it will help you.
Okay, sir. I'll try. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we will meet at 4:25.